if you look at the markets, yes, no respite from that selling spree, given the fact that you have now Dow futures also that have slumped much more. There was a tad bit of recovery in the Dow futures, but from there on now we've only hitting the day's lowest point when you talk about Dow futures, as well as you have stocks Europe also that is down about 2% right now. Actually, it's set for the biggest weekly fall also since February 2022. It is now down in excess of about 2% or so. So yes, global markets also reeling under pressure. It's not just global equity markets, even crude market. That one also is down and out, given the fact that the crude is heading towards their lowest close since about midst of 2021. Let me bring on board Ashesha to exactly tell us what's exactly happening in the crude market.
Well, yes, after the brutal 6.5% fall that we saw on Brent crude yesterday, it is down another nearly 1% in trade today to trade below that $70 per barrel mark. And as you mentioned, Brent crude is now down nearly 7% on a year-to-date basis. But two main reasons why Brent crude has been falling over the last 1 to 2 trading sessions. One, of course, is tariff war, which continues to escalate, which has posed demand concerns, because of which demand for energy could fall, and that is the reason demand concerns continue to rise. Apart from that, OPEC Plus came out with an announcement yesterday where they said that they have rolled back their decision to increase the output, which means earlier the output increase was supposed to be about 135,000 barrels per day with effect from April, but now they've increased it further, and now they've said that output increase could come in at 411,000 barrels per day, which means supply could increase in the global market, and this is the reason oil prices continue to decline. In fact, Goldman Sachs came out with a report, and Goldman Sachs has now gone ahead and lowered their price target for the full year for WTI crude and for Brent crude. So for Brent crude, they've given a target of $69 per barrel for this calendar year 2025, and they've given a target price of $62 per barrel for calendar year 2026. Now remember, falling crude oil prices is a positive for Indian economy because we import a lot of crude oil from the global market. And as far as stock and sector specific action is concerned, it is also a positive for sectors which consume crude as their raw material. So for instance, tire companies, lubricant companies, all of these tend to benefit on account of falling crude oil prices. A whole host of sectors like the companies the likes of Vedanta also lose out on account of falling crude oil prices. But yes, crude oil prices have now fallen below that $70 per barrel mark.
I look at what happened as far as copper. You were well down, nearly down 4%. A lot of those other industrial metals were sold off heavily. I think one needs to be, and silver, you can't take your eye off that, down 8%. So, you know, when you're thinking of that, gold was down a touch, and as it says on the screen, 1.7% down. I would be probably chasing gold more than anything in the short run, and that's got to be over the rest of the next couple of weeks as some form of safe haven. It's had a tremendous rally to the upside, as we know. I feel as though that a lot of holders of gold retail wouldn't have sold their positions. If you're in the paper market, that's a different situation completely. But that physical attraction, and we all understand Asia and, of course, India's appetite towards it, I don't think that's going to wane anytime soon, and that's probably forcing more and more people to buy physical. And I think that, you know, over the next couple of weeks, that's a good place to be. And I feel as though you're going to see further softness across many of those commodities, especially the oil sector.